Hey guys, I'm going to show you a little trick to do with origin points. So if you have the newest version of the Hard Surface Toolbox, you could just hit Shift Alt Q and you've got your mesh menu right here, along with a vertex, edge, face utilities, and then a multi-select of each one plus context menu. Okay, so it's all kind of just built into one spot, which is nice and it's compact. So I'm going to jump into vertex select, and I just want to select these four corners here. I'm going to scale that down, go to face select, G and Z, kind of move this down something like that. Looks good. Now what happens is the origin point is here. It's at the top of the mesh now. So if orthographically I hit 1 and move this around, you can see the origin point kind of goes with it. Let me just constrain that on the Z axis and bring that just above the grid a little bit. So what you want to do is you want to bring the origin back to the geometry if you were going to model the object. But if you're going to mirror the object, then it's really important that you have it in the right spot. So obviously, I could take up a nice orthographic view by pressing 1 on the number pad. I just come up here to options and turn on origins. I can hit G and Z to bring this down. Now if I bring it down and maybe it ends up a little bit below, I'm going to turn off origins. It ends up a little bit below its actual mesh, and I go to the toolet function to mirror symmetrize, which you can just search. You can spacebar search and symmetrize, type in SYMM, and you can pull up a mesh symmetrize there and start working with the top to bottom, positive, negative. It's kind of a pain. That's why I put this together. It's a nice little combination for everybody. And if I go ahead and tool that, you'll see there's a nice big gap there. And that's not what we want. So what you'd want to do is you want to go into edit mode, grab the face, hit Shift S, and then you want to go cursor to active, okay? And now once you've done that, you can go back into object mode, and now the origin point is going to snap to where the 3D cursor is, and you can see the origin point's right here, and there's no way to necessarily get it perfectly on the line without snapping it to it. And so now I would bring the origin to the cursor. And if you don't have those origin settings, just come up here to set origin, origin to geometry, origin to 3D cursor. It's all right there for you. So now if I come back out and hit the toolet function on the Z, boom, that's going to be really nice and pretty much perfect, right? So it's having a little issue, and it's kind of fun. So I like to delete a face whenever I'm having a problem, because I was coming over here into vertex mode, and I'm trying to bevel this vertice. And let me pull that menu over here. I'm just trying to add a little chamfers and stuff to the outside, but it's not working. So I take a face and delete it. Actually, I don't have to do that. I can just grab the face and hit H to hide it. And come to find out, just because the way I did it, and it's okay, but just so this happens to you, you can come in here and delete that face out, because you can't bevel with that face there. It's going to cause a lot of shading errors. So I hit Alt H to bring that back. Come over here, and now with the Shift Alt Q menu, I should be able to bevel. Well, let me just grab this one vert, just trying to do the one, and go ahead and just bevel that vertice. There we go, because I was having a ton of errors. Okay, so that's cool. So now that works out. I'll just go ahead and grab them all, and then go ahead and select to bevel those. You can do whatever you want with them to make them look nice. And I think we can go ahead and shade auto smooth on that now. And then from the top view, you could do a lot of extra work on this. And there's a few cool things you can do with this. You could jump into face select. Actually, I want to unmark that. I'll clear that sharp. I just want to grab these faces, offer up a small inset, Control E, and I want to bridge edge loops just to give it something nice so it looks a little bit better. That's cool. And now I want to grab these faces, just the faces, Shift D to duplicate those, P, separate by selection, go back to object mode, and I'm going to grab just those faces that I copied, and then I can go ahead and solidify those. And see, I should be able to do that with the Hard Surface Toolbox. I've got a little solidify cutter down here that it works the same as the solidify. Do even thickness, high quality normals, and then you can kind of figure out what you want to do with it. Let's take the bevel off of that because that's killing it. There we go. And so now if I just kind of hold down shift, there we go, we end up with something kind of cool like that. And then it gives you a little bit more real estate, if you will, to work with. So you can grab these two different objects and kind of start adding bevels and chamfers and kind of do whatever you want with it. I think that looks pretty cool. And I'll tool that to the bottom so it's got the same thing down there. Now I definitely want to grab this and apply that modifier for the solidify. And now this doesn't have all that vertex beveling on it. All right, so that looks pretty cool. Now I want to do something. This is a trick I showed previously, but we'll do it here. So just hit K for the knife tool, go into vertex select here for the outer shell, and hit K. Left click to place that, and then place it here somewhere along the edge. It's perfectly fine. And hit enter. Then let's go to edge select and just select this outer edge here. And you can grab this little extra piece if you want. I'm actually not going to, because I'm going to hit Control B and I want to bevel this and get like a real neat thing there. That looks pretty cool. All right, so that's neat. And now that you've got some extra designs on here, this is where the toolet would come in pretty handy. I think we go negative to positive. And then once we've got that, you can just figure out which way that needs to go, like on the positive to negative. Excuse me. Let's go negative to positive here. And you can throw this around the other sides. And let's see. So I'm on the positive X to negative and just throw it all the way around. And that looks pretty good. And so now just put it on the Z, positive, and you can tool that. So that outer shell has got a nice little design to it. Now this is pretty cool because you can actually take up an orthographic view here with the outside selected and pull up the carver tool. And if you don't have carver, you can go into edit, preferences, add-ons, go here, type in carver, check that on, and then Control Shift X will bring that up with whatever selected object you have, so don't get messed up. And I'll see if I can just grab these symmetry lines out of here real quick now that I see them. Don't need those. X and dissolve those edges out. I'll press 1 for the orthographic view. Make sure I've got the shell selected and pull up the carver tool. Now you can start cutting some stuff in here if you want to make this look really neat. Go to like circle, hit X a couple times, pull in a little circle right there, and jab that through the mesh. That looks pretty good, and depending on where I'm at, it looks like X positive to negative. I can then again, excuse me, I'm going to go the opposite way on the X and tool that, and then on the Y, it should be the same direction. If it's going to do it, yeah, it did it. Okay, good. And then from top to bottom, positive, negative, Z, and you can do that. And then you very, very quickly add symmetrical details to your mesh. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. There's some bevel tricks for you to get some extra design, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial lesson.